All right, you're going to open up your Drawing with Shapes project and you find that in your stuff. This is the one that we did in the last video when we added the blocks here. So when we click our pentagon or whatever your shape is, it
I am a pentagon.
Now what we're going to do is we need, we want to have the description here also. What we typed in here, we want it to show up here also so kids can hear it and read it. I'm going to come down here to where you add sprites. So I'm going to hover over choose sprite, but I'm going to come up here to paint. And it's going to open up right where you normally see the costume section. Now, depending on which shape you're working on, I am working on a pentagon right now. I'm changing costume 1 to say pentagon. I'm also changing this sprite 1 to say pentagon. We're going to do this for each shape you're going to create. Because when you create a new sprite in Paint, it doesn't give it a name. You have to name it. So this is what I have here. All I'm going to be doing is typing. You can change your color right here. And we're going to click on this letter T because this is for typing. And this is a nice, plain, simple looking font for something like this. If you want to try other fonts, you can, but you want it to be really clean and crisp. Think about how the typing looks inside a book. It's really easy to read because you want it easy to read. So I'm just going to click anywhere. I've chose down here by this circle because that's the center. You get these small little dots and you got your cursor flashing in there. All you have to do is start typing. But I'm going to do something a little more simple than have to retype everything. I'm going to come back and click on my person here. This is who was doing all of our coding. Because the simple thing is you click inside where we typed for the text to speak. All of that, it highlights it. Do Control C, it copies it. You've typed it once. We don't need to type it again because you might end up having you might have some misspelled words, but it's gonna have exactly what it says. So I clicked here, it's highlighted. I did Control C. I'm gonna come back to my new sprite, and notice it puts me where the coding is. So I have to click on costumes. Here I am, my T. Click on the center. I have my flashing cursor and I do Control V and it's there. Now you can tell it's not where it should be. It's kind of to the side. And if you look up here, slide this over, this is how it looks. I don't want it to do that. I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to double click inside so my cursor is somewhere in here. I'm going to use my arrow keys to come to the end of a sentence and hit enter, just so I can push everything down. Line it up. I'm going to move to the far right with my arrow key. I'm not quite sure where I'm at, so I'm going to have to click on the outside, and I'm going to have to move this over. This is where it gets a little tricky. All right. There we go. That's a little out of proportion, but I can straighten it all up. Oh, there we go. I needed to get to this so I can drag it over. So double click in here. You can see sometimes it's a little difficult. And I'm just right now, I want to get everything lined up. Then I can change the size. So, and depending on where I put this, you can see it how it lines up here. Now I can see I've got a line. I'm going to just make sure all of my letters line up right here. And I'm going to click on this outside part again, and I'm going to make it a little smaller. And everything I do right here, I can see it up here. And I can see that's not really lined up. That is lined up nicely. I know we're recording, but we got the rain coming in.
I want to go outside. Meow.
All right, so I've moved using this little center plus sign. You can see where you can move things around. I've moved it around until I like the location. And based on this plus symbol in the center, that's what your XY is. So it's not like it's going by this corner. And this is going to say everything I want. So I've changed my name here after I created. I changed the costume name. Come back over here to the coding. And now this is where things are going to get a little tricky because we're going to have to do some timed coding with our weight blocks. We don't want this to show up until we have this here. So the first thing I'm going to do on my coding is bring over an event block, one of our, with the flags. I'm going to tell it anytime the green flag is clicked, it has to hide. Now, we will be creating a sprite for all of our shapes, so we're going to always say it has to hide. My second event block is going to be based on the shape. So since mine's a pentagon, it's going to be my letter P. So this is also what happens when I want a pentagon there. I don't want this to pop up yet because I want that here. I want to bring over a weight block because we're going to have to wait. And then we're going to have it show after a certain amount of seconds. Now this is where things are going to get tricky. When we're dealing with weight blocks, it's all about working on timing. You're going to have to run it, do a little bit of counting, and then change some numbers. We're going to have it show, and it's going to show for a certain amount of time. We're going to tell it how much, and then we're going to have it hide again. Because we don't want it up there when we're doing that. Now, to figure that out, I come over here back to Abby. That's who our sprite is. And I think about when I click this, how long does it take to make this sprite? I'm going to do a little test. Clear everything.
Hello, I am a pentagon. I have 5 sides and 5 vertices. I am a plane shape. I am a 2D shape.
All right. We had a 0.5 second before it started talking and then 2 seconds. So she kept talking when this went away. So what I'm going to do is change this to a 5, which means I'm going to try having this wait. I'm going to leave it at 1 second. And then, because it's going to show when she should be speaking. Actually, yeah, we're going to try 1 second. Down here, I'm going to say 5. Because I'm not sure. We're going to have to do a test. All right, here we go. A test run here. So click my letter P.
Hello, I am a pentagon. I have 5 sides and 5 vertices. I am a plane shape. I am a 2D shape.
Okay, this waiting 1 second was perfect, but we lost this too quickly. So it probably, I'm going to make it at least a 7. So we're going to try this now.
Hello, I am a pentagon. I have 5 sides and 5 vertices. I am a plane shape. I am a 2D shape.
It jumped off a little too soon. I'm going to do 8 seconds, and I think this might be what we need.
Hello, I am a pentagon. I have 5 sides and 5 vertices. I am a plane shape. I am a 2D shape.
Now we just didn't have this erase, and it erased kind of late. So that means I may want to knock that down to 4 seconds. So this is what happens when you're working with the weight block and you've got multiple sprites that have to show and hide. You have to run little trial programs to see if it works.
Hello, I am a pentagon. I have 5 sides and 5 vertices. I am a plane shape. I am a 2D shape.
So the only thing is we'll probably keep working with this on when it erases all. But most likely you'll be able to use this, the wait time here for every shape. And when we create all of our shapes right here that explains it, you can use this information. So if you're watching this video, you're going to pause, write this down on your notes so you have it, and then you're gonna be able, copy and paste. We'll do another video to show you how to copy and paste and add that.
Mm-hmm. Good.